Welcome back to Independent Chick. I'm your host, Dana Foster. And have you ever wondered how to be single? Is there a how-to? How do you be single? That is the question. So we've brought in our relationships expert, Mathew Povey. You may have remembered him from a previous episode that we worked on how to date. So we're talking about how to be single. We've talked about this before. So what would your first steps? Like, is there a how-to be single?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's not so much steps as mindsets. So we have to look at some of the things that we believe and say, are those things true or are they just lies? And so we have to kind of take them down when we just look at them. So
What do you mean?
Well, somehow we believe there's only two options in our life, okay? That we are going to end up in a relationship and we're going to be valued and successful and have kids.
Right.
And be happy, or we're going to be single and be worthless and
lonely and miserable.
Right?
And the goal being like get married seems to be like the end goal is like you need to get married. Some people use it as a sense of worth, maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what they call a false dichotomy, which is there's only two options for us. Fancy, yes, you get your money's worth. But yeah, there's actually more options than that. And something that I just want to talk about is that being single isn't the worst option. The worst option actually is being in a relationship that makes you feel like you're alone. So as soon as you realize that there's actually other options out there for me, in fact that I can be single and live an incredible life, and then that means you can strive towards it. And then also realizing that some relationships are maybe not so something that you shouldn't pursue right away because there actually can be worse results. So you're going to take relationships more seriously in that case.
Or settling.
Yeah.
You don't want to settle.
You don't want to settle. No. Let's face it. You're awesome. I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get what we deserve out of life.
Right. It's true. So what would your next sort of step be if there was Steph?
Yeah. I'd say pursue joy, not happiness.
What's the difference?
I'll tell you.
Wait. Joy and happiness. I feel like it's the same thing.
It's not actually.
It's not. Okay.
So you hear a lot, like in America, the pursuit of happiness, right?
Yeah.
But I've heard it said
materialistic.
Yeah, and it's you know what I've heard it said that happiness is just a superficial emotion to pleasant circumstances. Instead, we should pursue joy, because joy is much deeper than that, and it's able to sustain even when we face some really difficult situations in our life. So we should pursue that. How do you do that?
Yes, you read my mind.
Oh yes.
How do you,
we're tracking. How do you pursue joy? It's living a life that is purposeful, that is full of purpose, and I believe that we all have something inside of us that is designed for us to contribute to something greater than what we're already contributing to. We're not just here on earth to make money and babies. There's something else that is greater than us that we can actually
remember that, ladies.
Right? It's so easy to get stuck in that sort of mentality and not realize there's a bigger purpose at stake here. So realize that. And soon as you figure out what your purpose is, joy will easily follow.
So it's okay to be single, find joy, find your purpose, and what else? What else?
I think the final thing that we'll camp on here is just because you're single doesn't mean you're alone.
Right.
Susan was talking about the fact when she came to Canada, this sense of community was something for her to really, it was really tough to really grab a hold onto. And that's a part of our culture. We're very individualistic. But we're not meant to, I know, right?
Yeah.
But we're actually meant to live in community, in a community of people. And so as you live faithfully to a community of people, that's where meaning comes through even more so. It has more vibrancy. And that's when you'll have that joy, because you're in the midst of a group of people that value you and care about you just the way you are, not because you're successful in this area or you've achieved something in another area. They accept you for you.
That makes perfect sense. So in order to be single, you would want that community, because I think it would be easier to be single.
Exactly.
But then also knowing your purpose and finding joy. And what was the first one?
The first one was...
It's okay to be single.
Realizing
okay
there's more than two options.
Right.
Yeah.
Matthew, thanks for coming on the show.
Not a
thanks
problem.
for letting me know how to be single. We will be right back right after this. We've got some interesting stuff happening. We're going to be dancing. Be right back after this.